Let's make some noise for Lift the Band, everybody! Where are we? We're here in Oak Park, outside of the office of Senate President Don Harmon. We were just at Governor Pritzker's mansion, one of his 6 mansions. Make some noise if you were at Governor Pritzker's mansion. What were we telling Governor Pritzker? We were telling him what he was telling us while he was running for office, that he was going to lift the ban on rent control.
Yes, he did.
That was in 2018. What year is it now?
2021.
He's had all of his Democrats in every in the House, in the Senate, in the governor's office. He didn't get the job done because the real estate lobby controls our government in Illinois.
That ain't right.
Controls city council. It
That ain't
controls the
right.
House. It controls our Cook County government. That ain't right. So today, we're here to talk to the President of the Senate. All right? We have a bill. The Black Caucus of Illinois in the House and Senate has united around a vision for addressing racial injustice, and they have said, lift the ban on rent control. This is a racial justice issue. This is a renter's issue. This is a small landlord's issue. This is a basic economic regulation issue, right? So we need this President of the Senate, who was elected by his peers to lead the Democratic Party in the Senate of Illinois, forward on this issue. We can't have our leaders pretending that they are just neutral, that they are just letting the process play out. We need our leaders to push forward on legislation like the Black Caucus's economic agenda, all right? So, Senator Don Harmon, we have some things to say to you today. First thing, we're going to hear from Cate Readling, a candidate for Oak Park Village President. Come on, Cate. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm Brian Bennett, BRIAN-BENNETT. I'm with Lift the Ban Coalition and Chicago DSA. All right, let's give it up for Cate.
Good morning. My name is Cate Readling, C-A-T-E-R-E-A-D-L-I-N-G. I am a constituent of Senate President Don Harmon, a resident in Oak Park, and I'm running for village president. This is one of the reasons that I am running for this office, this local office. It matters that we have local municipal representation that is willing to be educated and willing to advocate at every level for the things that all of the residents of Oak Park need. 45% of our population in Oak Park is renting. That's almost half of our people, and that we need to stand up for them and make sure that we make Oak Park be affordable and accessible for everyone. And we know who these issues impact disproportionately. Black and brown people, poor people, working people. We need representation that centers them, that prioritizes them, and shows up for them every single time. And that is why I'm here. I want to urge Senate President Don Harmon to make sure that the Black Caucus Omnibus bill is passed in the Senate and advocate for it to be passed in the House. We need this in Oak Park. Our hands are tied with a state regulation that prohibits us from using every tool possible to make Oak Park affordable and accessible. And if it's affordable and accessible for everyone, everyone does better. Pass this omnibus bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Cate. Let's hear it for Cate. Let's hear it for local control of our rents. All right, next up, we have a very important speaker, okay? We know the real estate lobby is mostly run by the giant corporations like Pangea, like Mac Properties. Okay? These people come into Springfield. They got millions and millions of dollars that they dump into lobbying, into campaign contributions, and they say they represent small landlords. We're talking about people that have one building, that have 2 buildings, that have 5 units. right? People who know their tenants, people whose money goes into the local economy, doesn't just make it disappear into dividends for shareholders of Pangea, right? So we cannot let them misrepresent these small landlords who are actually parts of our community. So we're going to hear from Bill Lamb, a small landlord and member of Unitech. Bill?
I'm right here. My name is Bill Lamb. That's L-A-M-M-E. I am a tall landlord, but I am a small landlord. And that's because I just own a 3-flat. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm trying to live my life in Little Village. Little Village is not just a bunch of houses. It's a community. It has a definite identity. The people there are ethnically Mexican. Spanish is spoken everywhere in our community. There's religious and cultural and civic organizations that reflect our shared identity. There's a vibrant commercial area. We're not a food desert. Families have put down roots there. There's blocks where people know their neighbors and look after each other's kids. They've laid down roots there. My wife and I consciously chose to live in this warm and tight-knit community. We wanted to stay that way, but now our community is under threat. Gentrification has come to our neighborhood. Say that again. That's right. And we are not the only ones. Unscrupulous landlords, speculators, and developers are raising rents in order to force people out. They are flipping the neighborhood. If I didn't have my gloves on, I'd flip them instead. This is not just about new neighbors. This is about the destabilization and destruction of a community.
Yes, right.
We have seen this happen in Pilsen, Logan Square, Wicker Park, Humboldt Park, and it's happening now in Little Village. It's happening in Woodlawn, Bronzeville, and more neighborhoods. We want that to stop.
Yes.
We demand that the state legislature lift the ban on rent control in Illinois. Then our communities can control the rate of rent increase and protect the stability of these established and stable communities. Today we call on Senate President Don Harmon to provide leadership in seeing this item gets passed in the Omnibus bill sponsored by the Legislative Black Caucus. Protect our communities. Put people before profits. Lift the ban on rent control. 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 Lift the ban on rent control.
All right. Thank you, Bill Lamb. Is the Reverend ready? Reverend Jones?
Yeah.
Hey, Reverend, are you good to come on now?
Yep.
This is Reverend Robert Jones, everybody. Hello, my name is Reverend Robert Jones, Robert Jones. I am with the Virginia Burns Hope Center, as well as the Mount Carmel Missionary Baptist Church. And I stand to say that I am a renter. And at the end of every month, I always get a notice that says, don't let your rent become past due. Well, I'm here to stand to say, today we want you to know that rent control is past due. Rent control causes rents to stay out of control. It is unfortunate that we have rents that are so out of control that we need rent control, and we're calling on
Don Harmon to make absolutely sure that he supports this Black Caucus Omnibus bill for rent control. We need rent control now. Rent control is a civil right. Rent control is a moral right. Rent control is a human right. And we stand today to say, lift the ban on rent control.
All right, thank you, Reverend Jones. And lastly, we are going to hear from a tenant, the people most directly addressed by this housing crisis. This is a crisis that we have been talking about for years before any COVID, anything happened. Before we had a new form of housing crisis where now millions are threatened to be on the street. What happened at the beginning of 2020? As soon as this crisis began, Lori Lightfoot, every municipal leader in Illinois said, there's nothing I can do to address rents right now because there's this ban on rent control. Now, it doesn't give us any pleasure to say, I told you so, at all. But you should have passed this back then. We knew it before this crisis ever began, and as soon as COVID hit, it should have been done then, right? But our legislators did not meet. The Senate and the House have not met since April of last year, I believe. Perhaps May of last year, right? So they are meeting right now. We got a lot of work to catch up on. Let's get this Black Caucus through. All right, our last speaker is going to be a tenant. This is Jonathan Projansky, a member of the Virginia Burns Hope Center.
All right. Good morning. My name is, as was said, Jonathan Projansky. That's Jonathan. He is a Peter, Rojansky. I'm with the Virginia Burns Hope Center, and I'm here to lift up that we need to lift the ban on rent control. I'm here today to speak about a great injustice people are facing all throughout this state. And this injustice comes from a law that since 1997 has led to people being priced out of their homes, made it more difficult for small property owners to attract and keep quality tenants, which leads to housing instability, increases homelessness, crime, etc. Worst of all, it pits everyday people like us against each other for the sake of the profit of a few. I'm speaking about the need to lift this ban on this antiquated law from over 2 decades ago, which should not even be a discussion as we stand here in the midst of a pandemic. Constantly asking our state legislators to do what they already know they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be standing up for the best interests of the people that they're supposed to be elected to represent. How do I know this? Because I've lived it every day of my adult life. Since I returned to Chicago from college, I've had to move year after year due to the doubling and tripling of rents in my neighborhood. Because I have lived all over, from Bronzeville to Rogers Park to Austin, right next to Oak Park, and back, and seen and experienced the same thing. Not only do I know I'm a damn good tenant, I've been complimented as such, but yet I've had to move out, live with relatives, and experience all the stress and anguish that comes with being priced out, displaced, and scared that I'm not gonna be able to find another place to live. But that's enough about me, because I'm fortunate. I have people that love me and I'm able to stay with. What about all the people out here that don't? What about all the tent cities that I see more and more being erected every day? Next to the police station in Bronzeville, under the expressway in Pilsen, on the side of the highway by UIC, under the viaducts on the north side by Uptown. It's ridiculous. That ain't right. That's right, that ain't right. So why are we out here in Oak Park talking about lift the ban on rent control for the same reason we were talking about it in 2017, 2018, and 2019? Because it's racist, it's classist, and it's a policy that negatively affects all low-income and working families, especially people of color. because we're out here asking Illinois State Senate President Don Harmon that we need him to support lifting the ban on rent control, support the Illinois Black Caucus agenda, which includes a provision around that. Because we're out here representing 280 to 500,000 households who are at risk of eviction right now in Illinois. We're representing all the Black and brown households who are most at risk in the midst of this pandemic, so people can be sure that they will have some stability in their housing, not just now, but in the future. We're here because we need you, Senator President Harmon, to help lift the ban. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Jonathan, everybody. Make some noise for the millions of renters in Illinois that need this right now.